The fermata has always been a little bit problematic from the conductor point of view. Basically, we have three ways of conduct a fermata. The first and, let's say, maybe easiest and also most common, whether it's right or wrong, but most common, is when you have the fermata, so you prolong the sound, the note, and then you just cut the sound, wait a moment, and then start again. In this case, you want to conduct this, first of all, of course, the fermata itself, so you just show it to the orchestra. Then, with a clear move, you have to cut the sound and stand by for a moment. And the third phase, just give the impulse to go, so the upbeat. So basically, it would go pa off, pam pa pa pam, pam off, pam pa pa pam. The second possible fermata is when, after the fermata, you cut the sound as well, but immediately after the cut, you want to go ahead with the notes. And in this case, the movement that you do to cut the sound must be at the same time the cut and the impulse for the next note. Because otherwise, if you cut and stop, you have the first case. So this goes like pam, pam, pa, pa, pam, pam, off, pam, pa, pa, pam, off rebounding, pam, pa, pa, pim, and you go ahead. The third possible case is when you have the fermata, but you don't want to cut the sound, so the sound keeps going, and after the fermata itself, you go ahead without any stop in between. So, in this case, you absolutely shouldn't, and you mustn't, I would say, cut with that movement, with that gesture, the sound, because if you do that, most of the people stop playing. And from the fermata, you have straight the impulse to go ahead, and pam, pam. So it goes like pam, 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 whatever it comes. So these are the three main ways to conduct a fermata. Another big problem is the tempo changes, and I would also say the pace changes, because of course we can have a tempo change from, I don't know, 4 quarters to 3 quarters, for instance, but let's say that the speed, the pace is exactly the same. Well, in that case it's not that problematic, because you only have to change your pattern from 4 to 3, but nothing really new happens. The difficult situation is when the pace is different. When you have maybe a slow 4 quarters, and then you have a fast 3. This is a little bit problematic, and let's say that you need to stop for a while, just a moment, your former movement, your former pattern, in order to give the right new impulse with your, of course, breathing and with your hand, with your impulse, to make the orchestra understand the new tempo, which is starting from exactly now, when you want it. If you never stop your former pattern and then all of a sudden boom, you go with a new tempo. This is absolutely not enough and not helpful for the orchestra, because they see you going on, going ahead like nothing is going to happen, and all of a sudden, pim, 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 pim. They won't respond to your gestures, because they will not be connected. It's not possible to be connected to that sudden change. So when you go in your 4 pattern, then let's say this is the last bar, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can see that when I was from 3 to 4, I didn't exactly complete the pattern. I was not 3 and 4 and, no, 3 and, I would stop on the 4, 3 and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 1, so that I have time. Just, of course, it's a very tiny moment in which you have to give the right impulse. This is very important to be clear when you change your pace. One musical example, when you think of the Dvorak Symphony No. 9 from A New World in the 3rd movement, which is basically a scherzo with a trio, and you think of the melody of the trio, which is very soft and very dancing, okay? We are conducting in one, but the tempo is subdivided into 3 movements. And so you are going like a pam, pa pam, pam, pa pam, 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 pa pam, 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 and then the scherzo comes back again. Pa 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 pam, ram pam pa pa pam. So this is quite a change. I mean, and if you don't stop that very little moment before giving the impulse for going back to go back to the scherzo, the orchestra won't respond. It would go like this: pam pa pam pam pa pam pam, pam pam pa pim pam pam pam, pa pa pam pam pam, pim pim pa pa pam, pim 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 pam. Did you notice? Just once again. Pam pa pam pam pa pim pam, pam pam pa pam 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 pam, pa 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 pam, yap pa pi pa pum. You see, I stopped and pa 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 pa, so that the new tempo is getting in. So when you change the tempo, change the pace, just a moment standing still, saying now this is where the new section comes in, and you give the impulse, the breathing, and they go. About the fermata, when you show the fermata, my suggestion is don't stand still. Just show it and keep slowly moving, maybe sideways, this way. Pam. Why that? Because the sound is still alive. It's not it's pam, and then you do whatever you want. You want to cut, or you want to go ahead, pam, yam pa pa pim. So in the fermata, I would just very slowly keep moving. In the changing of pace, 3 and pam, 2, 3.